Let's go, baby. It's a beautiful day here in the Buckhead community of Atlanta. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. If you're coming on, please do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that share button, tag Lolly, Dolly, everybody, and let them know we are live on this beautiful Wednesday right here on the Ramonepreston Show. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a few minutes to talk about 7 ways, at least 7 of the most common ways for you to fund your business. So please do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the share button, tag somebody, let them know Ramonepreston and the Ramonepreston Show and my squad, we are all here live today on this beautiful Wednesday. We're just a few days away from one of the most extraordinary events that we're having. My hope and expectation is that you're having an amazing week, and we're going to see if we can make this week even better with what we're going to share with you today. So for those of you that don't know, welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. I'm your host, Ramonepreston. Every Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, I show up here to share information with you to help you properly start, properly structure, and at some point scale your business, ministry, if you have a ministry, or just your income streams. That's what we do here at Ramonepreston Enterprises. We're a financial and business consulting, coaching, and training or educational company, and that's what we do for our community. We provide information, education, training programs, coaching programs, consulting services to help you in your finances, to help you in your business, and even to help you in your ministry. Like, let's not overlook the fact that I have been a minister and a leader in the church even longer than I have been an entrepreneur. And I've been able to successfully navigate both areas, both industries, both spaces. And today I stand at the helm, at the top of the mountain of our for-profit and our nonprofit organizational enterprise. So everything that I share with you, I know it works. It works for me. It works for my company and my organization, my church, my ministries, my other businesses. So I know it can work for you. And today I want to talk about 7 ways to fund your business. 7 ways to fund your business. I get this question at least a couple times a week from random people and from people who are in our ecosystem. Like, Ramon, what can I do to fund my business? How can I get funding? How can I establish a foundation or a opportunity for getting working capital? So I'm going to share with you 7 ways to fund your business, and then I'll give you some details with each of these, because it's not as simple as it looks. Nevertheless, there are a lot of people who are looking for ways to fund their business. And guess what? All you got to do is search the internet, scroll up or down your timeline on any social media platform, and it's going to be somebody just like me telling you they know how to help you fund your business. Now, there are a lot of people who are in the business of helping you fund your business. I'm not in the business of helping you fund your business like that, not on a traditional or in a conventional way. I'm in the business of helping you start and structure a healthy business so that when you are in a healthy position to get your business funded, if that makes sense, you can actually receive it. So I'll give you 7 common ways. These are just some of the common ways to fund your business. So number, and I'm gonna go from number 7 all the way to number 1. So I'm gonna go from the 7th way all the way up to the top way, because when I get to number 1, I want to take a few minutes to really show you why number 1 should be the most important way. So again, 7 ways to fund your business. That's what we're talking about today. Now, for those of you that are already in business, you got an LLC set up and you're already working your business every day and you're just trying to get that extra lift and get that momentum and you're looking for funding, or maybe you're just in the process of putting a business idea together and you're looking for ways to get your business funded, I'm sure all 7, or at least a few, or one of these 7 ways will help you. So again, I'm going to talk about the 7 ways to fund your business, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from number 7 being the last resort, then we're going to get to number 1. Okay, so the seventh is for you to use the SBA, the Small Business Administration. That's one way to fund your business. You can go to the SBA. All you got to do is go to the SBA website, Small Business Administration. As a matter of fact, within the last 2 years, the SBA has done a lot of funding through their EIDL loans, through their PPP loans. I'm not sure if they have any loans with regard to the COVID situation available. You have to go and check. But even outside of disaster relief loans or the PPP type loans, the SBA, they're always providing loans. Some of these loans that the SBA provides are through certain banks. You could go to certain banks and certain institutions and talk with them. But for now, we want to talk about the SBA. Okay, so that's one way to fund your business. So that means you're going to have to do your due diligence. One of the easiest things for you to do is to go to the SBA's website, look at all the kind of loans that they have, and find out what type of criteria they're looking for. Nobody's just going to give you money just because you want money, okay? Or just because you got a good idea for a business. You got to see what the underwriting, I call it quote unquote, the underwriting criteria is for them to give you a loan. So the 7th on the list, I'm going from 7 to 1, would be the SBA, okay? Number 6 is banks. This is traditional banks and credit unions. So this is one way to get a loan. And here's the good thing. Even if you get a no right now, it may be a not now. So what that means is if you go to the SBA's website and if you do some research to see what kind of small business loans the Small Business Administration supports and funds, at least you know what's available. Once you get that information, the next step to take would be to actually go to a bank or to a credit union and to find out from them what the loan criteria is. Like I remember years ago when my business was just getting off the ground, I really didn't have a whole business set up, but I was, you know, of the mindset that, man, I just need some funding. I need some working capital. If I could get a $10,000 or $20,000 loan, it'll be good. I remember going to my bank and doing that because that's information that I got at the time to go to my bank. So if you have a bank that you bank with, a lot of times these banks, they have criterias like underwriting criterias that's very, very hard. But you still want to know what the underwriting criteria is. You want to know that. Now, for those of you that have credit unions, you can do the same thing at your credit union. If you don't have a credit union, maybe you want to look into seeing if you could get maybe referred by someone who has a credit union account, because I've never had a credit union bank account, okay? I've always banked with traditional banks. It worked for me. But I've heard that people who have credit union accounts, they have a better chance of getting some type of loans from their credit unions. But even if you don't, you want to at least go there and find out from the bank, what is your lending criteria? Like, what do you look for to give a business owner a loan? Do you look for history in business? Do you look for a certain amount of revenue coming in that business? Do you look for a certain credit score for the owner? For the owner, what exactly do you look for? Sometimes it's just a matter of asking questions. I've always been that kind of person that I'll walk in the bank and I'm not going to talk to the teller. I'm not talking to the teller at the bank. I want to have an appointment with one of those people in those glass rooms. I want to talk to somebody who knows what they're doing. And I want to find out, do you offer SBA loans? or what type of loans do you offer, and for small businesses, okay, and for individuals, and what exactly is the criteria? I would like to know what that criteria is. And guess what? You could call other banks, local banks, regional banks, or national banks and find out from them what their criteria is, because sometimes you'll find out that, wow, I could be incentivized to switch banks. So I'm gonna leave one bank. Like when I first started my business, me and my wife, we had local banks. We had bank accounts at local banks. There was a local bank here in Metro Atlanta. It was only here in Atlanta, but they was open on Sundays. So it worked for us, because a lot of times when I used to preach and travel, we used to get checks, honorariums. And, back when I was first starting preaching and traveling and doing ministry, everything that came in, I needed. So when someone blessed me with an offering or honorarium, I needed it as a young traveling preacher. So, and I wasn't ashamed of it. But again, if I go preach somewhere and somebody gave me a check on a Sunday, I had a bank that I could go to and actually cash it, because I probably needed the money anyway. Or maybe my wife and I had a real estate closing on Friday that was so late, and we knew the big banks were going to close Saturday, and they would make us wait till Monday to cash the check and probably wait 3 days to be able to clear the money. We could go to our local bank. But they also had programs for credit cards, programs for loans. They had certain grants that they offered small businesses. So when I say banks, I'm not just talking about like major banks like Bank of America, Truist, Wells Fargo, or Chase. I'm also talking about your local banks. The truth is, especially when it comes to real estate, like my wife and I, we're in real estate, so we have a lot of clients that have purchased homes, and we have clients that have purchased commercial properties, and they've gotten their loans not from their major banks. They've gotten their loans from like local regional banks, because they do business with those banks. So even if they tell you no for a loan, at least you could get the criteria and find out, if I have a banking relationship with you, what would be the criteria, so that maybe 6 months from now I can actually get a loan. So number 6 would be banks and credit unions. All right. So I'm gonna get through this as fast as I can, because I don't think I'm gonna have a whole lot of time to get through a whole lot of information today. So I'm gonna try to push through this as fast as I can. All right. So number 5 on my list. Number 5 on my list will be credit cards. This is how you can fund your business: credit cards and lines of credit. So LOC would be lines of credit. So what I mean by this is, and I've done this, so everything that I'm telling you, I've experienced it. So I know how all of this works. So I'm not telling you something I just heard or somebody told me. I've done it, so I know it works, okay? So again, credit cards, excuse me, could be a source of funding for your business. Now, it doesn't mean a credit card company is going to give your business a loan. They may. A lot of times, and I've done it this way, when I was using credit cards to fund my business, I would get a personal credit card. And then once I got the personal credit card approval, I'll go right back and apply for a business card. Some credit card companies did it, some didn't. But there were many credit card companies that I would apply for a credit card for my personal or for my wife. And then once we got approved, I'll go right back around and apply for a business one. If not at the same time. I've tried it all different ways, but I have had success doing that at certain points, because I knew if I could get approved for a personal credit card and I circled back around and got approved for a business credit card, let's say my personal credit was like $1,500 and then my business credit card was like maybe $1,000 or $1,500. Well, I got a couple thousand that I can reinvest back in my business, even though I got a personal credit card, but I'm using it all for my business. So credit cards could be a good way to fund your business, or a line of credit. Now, in order for you to get a line of credit, a lot of times you need some type of collateral, or you need some type of equity. So that means if you got a house that got equity in it, you can always do a line of credit, or maybe you could refinance it. That's a more real estate play, but it's still a way for you to get a line of credit, because you can leverage your house to get a line of credit or to refinance and pull money out that's actually tax-free. So number 5 would be credit cards and lines of credit. Number 4 on my list, and this should maybe needed to be number 7, but it's not hard. Number 4 is family and friends. Family and friends. So that's always a way. Matter of fact, my business mentor tells a story about how when he first got started in business, he bought a $3,000 sales program, and that program was, just a training course, like we sell courses, and he had to borrow the $3,000 from his mama. But within 6 or 7 months, he was able to pay her back because he learned how to sell. He got a sales job and he was able to make commissions to pay her back. So family and friends can actually be a source of funding. Of course, you got to have your paperwork right. You got to have your pitch and your presentation right. But it's not uncommon, and it's really probably in most cases easier than the SBA, banks, credit unions, and even credit cards. Sometimes family and friends can be easy. That's why I have it number 4 on the list. So this could be a parent, this could be a sibling, this could be some family members that got a little money and they don't mind loaning you money. And so what you can do is go to them and propose to them. Listen, you give me $5,000, give me about 6 months to pay it off. I'll start paying payments in 30 days. Like, approach them like a real business person, okay? Approach them like a business person. Like, it's not like I've never borrowed money from people. Like, early on, when I first got started as an entrepreneur, there were people that I knew were doing well that I could go to if my wife and I had a commission that was coming, but it got delayed, or if I had some business opportunity, but I knew it was going to take a couple months to develop it and get my money out of it. I would go to somebody who I knew had money and say, listen, let me get $3,000 and give me 90 days. That's how I would always approach it. Give me $1,500 in 30 days. So I would always attach what I want to a time. So don't just go to somebody and say, let me borrow money for my business, but you ain't put a time on it, because you need to be held accountable. So anytime that somebody I knew that was in my relationship circle had money that could loan me money, I would go to them and say, listen, number 1, it's a loan. I don't want you to give me nothing. Number 2, here is the time that I need, because I did the math and knew, okay, I'm gonna need 3 months to pay this back. So I'm not going to somebody and say, oh, I'm gonna pay you back by the 8th. But then the 8th come and go, and 5 more 8ths come and go. That's bad business. You don't do business like that, because people see your character and you get a bad reputation, and nobody's going to do business with you. So anytime early on, when my wife and I first got started, we had people that were in our circle that had money. My wife would tell you, I would always go to them and say, listen, I need $1,000 in 30 days, or I need $2,000 in 2 months. Or I need $3,000 in 90 days. So give me 3 months and I'll pay you the money back, period. If not before then. That's how you do business with family members and friends. So that's 4 on my list. Number 3 on my list, retirement accounts. This could be an option. Retirement accounts and savings accounts. So if you have savings, if you have CDs, if you got money market accounts, if you got some type of stocks and bonds, or if you have some type of investments or retirement accounts, then guess what? You need to make a decision, because if you have a retirement account, like I've had clients that I know have done this, but if you have a retirement account, if you have like a 401k or 403b, or you got like stocks and bonds and CDs, you got money sitting somewhere and you want to start a business or fund your business, you got to make the sacrifice, or you got to make the commitment. You got to make the decision. Do I want it this bad or don't I? Because you can't expect for people to loan you money and you're not willing to loan you money. You're not willing to go through your due diligence to get money. So you may need to call the administrator of your retirement account, whatever the company is or the institution is that holds your money, and find out, how much money do I got? I've done this for clients. I've told clients this many times. Call them and find out how much money you got. And if you were to like be penalized and take everything out today or transfer it into something else like a business, how much would you be penalized? You can do that. As a matter of fact, a lot of people have been doing it since COVID because there are certain favorable laws that they've passed. And I don't know if it's a law, more so like just like they've given them some favorable benefits. So there's some leniency with certain accounts. I don't know if it still exists now like it did maybe a year or so ago when COVID first hit, but I think they were allowing people to take money out of retirement accounts and not be penalized as long as they put it back in a certain period of time. But you just need to call these people if you got 401k money, or you got retirement money, or you got money market accounts or savings accounts and CDs. What you doing? You can get a greater return with that money in your business or in your LLC. And the truth is, if it's a good enough investment, you can transfer that money sometimes, depending on what type of business investment it is. So that's number 3 on the list, retirement accounts and savings accounts. Number 2 on my list, this would be your job, your W-2 job, or, and I should say, and your W-2 job and or your personal sell-off strategies. This is number 2 on my list, your W-2 job. So if you work a W-2 job and you have a lot of taxes being taken out of your W-2 job, well, you can use this to help fund your business because, number 1, you readjust your W-4 form so that you have less taxes taken out of your gross and more pay coming in your net, and you use that extra money that you would be paying taxes to put in your business so that now you can start funding your business. And of course, if you're working, all the free cash you get, you should be dumping it into your business. Because again, if you sit down with a bank, if you sit down with a credit union, if you sit down with a family member or friend or somebody who really looks at your situation to see what you're doing with your money, to ask you questions, to vet you, you're going to have to show them what's happening anyway. So you might well do it the right way now. So your W-2 job can be a source of funding. But personal sell-off strategies, what I mean by that is you have personal items you can sell to fund your business. Like, I don't understand how people got 2 or 3 cars, but their business ain't got no money. Sell one of them doggone cars. Oh, well, well, sell it so you ain't got to pay the payment every month. And the insurance, that's more money you got coming in. Or you got designer clothes and jewelry. Sell it. You can always get it back. But you need to sell this stuff off. I'm telling you, anything that can't be bolted down, or if it's bolted down, if it can be unbolted, I'm selling it. So if I need money for my business and I got MacBooks and HP computers, I got designer bags and belts and clothes, I got 2 cars, I'm in a house or I live somewhere that's too big, I don't need all that space, I'm downsizing everything to take all that extra money and dump it into my business. So you got to be willing to make these sacrifices. And you should do this even before you go to banks and family members and friends. That's why I put this as number 2 on the list. This is like the second thing you should be doing, okay? And I'll give you number 1 just in case my camera and my equipment goes out because I'm pushing for time today. So number 1, the number 1 way to fund your business on the list is sales. This is sales of products and services. And I know some people watch this video and you might get offended by this because you're thinking, I'm not talking about getting that kind of funding. I want a bank to fund me. I want credit cards. All right, whatever. But let me tell you something. Even when you get all that, if you can't figure out a way to sell products and services in your business is not going to stay in business. It's only so many credit cards you're going to get. It's only so much funding and so many loans you're going to get. I tried it that way and I did it backwards and I suffered. I was just resilient enough, and I had enough hustle and grit and grind in me to push through it and weather that storm. But I had a season where that's all I did. I got credit cards, I got lines of credit, I got merchant loans, I got all kind of loans. I got funding here, funding there. I borrowed money, got all these lines of credit. And what happened was I was getting all this money, spending it to finance and fund my business, but my business still wasn't making enough sales, number one, to pay itself and to keep running, and number two, to pay all my loans back and credit cards back. And I found myself upside down. It was stressful, it was painful, and I put my wife and my family through a lot, because now I gotta grind myself out of that. I had probably 50 credit cards. I had to pay them off. I had to get out of that debt. I had collections and everything, and I had to work my butt off to get that stuff behind me because I went at it the wrong way. So those are my 7 ways, So number one, I just went from 7 to 1, but those are my 7 ways. The first way is what? The first way is sales. You should be trying to figure out how to create products and services that you can go sell, because the more sales you make, the more money you're gonna get to fund your business. Okay, number 2 will be your W-2 job, or selling off all items that you can sell off. That would be the second one. Number 3 will be any savings accounts or retirement or investment accounts that you have, because you're gonna play the game, you're gonna risk it all, push your chips in the middle of the table and bet on yourself. Okay, number 4 will be family and friends. Number 5, credit cards or lines of credit. Number 6, banks and credit unions. And number 7, SBA, those types of loans, grants, or other government programs that they may have. So it should be in that list. The first thing you should be focusing on is sales. If you're having trouble with sales and you need money to fund your business, if you already have a W-2 job, readjust your W-4 form. Go up on your dependents or your exemptions so that you can bring more money home and put it in your business. Sell everything you can until you're able to go back and retrieve it. So if it's jewelry, if it's designer clothes, if it's a car, if it's equipment, if it's anything that you got that you can go sell and make some quick money to dump in your business, sell it off. Number 3 would be savings. If you have a savings account, dump that money into your business. Bet on yourself. Retirement and investment accounts. Call these administrative account holders and find out, can you transfer it to your business and how much you'll be penalized, if you'll be penalized, because we're still in this COVID era. There may be some perks and benefits that they have for you. Family and friends, but make sure when you go to family and friends, you have a business plan, something put together so that they can see you can actually make money. Credit cards and lines of credit. You have to try yourself as an individual first sometimes, then you try your business, or try both. Number 6, banks and credit unions. Even if it's not now, go to them and say, well, listen, if I can't get approved for a loan or a credit card or line of credit through y'all now, what is the criteria? Like, make them underwrite it before you even fill out the application by asking them questions, giving you some criteria. And go to local banks, go to regional banks. Don't just go to the big banks, and find out what their criteria is. Maybe if you become a customer and move your accounts over to them, if they'll work with you and help you establish some type of credit. And then you can even ask these institutions about SBA loans, or just reach out directly to the SBA. But those would be my 7 ways to fund your business. Now, I'm not going to go into how you should actually prepare for some of these, or if not all of these. I'm going to be talking about a lot of this Saturday. So I want you to RSVP to join me this Saturday. I'm going to be hosting a 4-hour Millionaire Mastermind. It's going to be right here in Buckhead. It's going to be live. So it will be in person and virtual. So I'm going to actually be talking about what you actually need to do in order to prepare yourself to get funding from those type of funding sources. So if you want to know more about how you can actually put your business in a position to be prepared to get a loan, I'm going to show you some very creative ways to do it. And it ain't the traditional, I'm going to put a business plan together. Because let me tell you a secret about business plans. Most people don't even read them. And they don't care nothing about them. Because it ain't nothing but a whole bunch of information and words. When you need more than information and words, you need mathematics, you need metrics, you need numbers, and you need execution. And so I'm going to show you some strategies this Saturday, how you can put your business in a position and be prepared so that someone can give you a loan or fund or back or invest in your business. So I want you to go to Ramonepreston.com/event. And I want you to RSVP for our free Millionaire Mastermind this Saturday, 12 o'clock p.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I don't want you to miss it. And if you have any issues RSVPing at Ramonepreston.com/event, please call this number right here so we can get you set up right here, right now. All right? So you can either go to Ramonepreston.com/event, or if you're having a problem going there, just call me right now so we can get you signed up and get you RSVP to reserve your seat for this Millionaire Mastermind. So those are my 7 ways to fund your business. I hope it helped you. I hope it brought some value to you. Today is Wednesday. I've got a lot of work that I need to go do today. You see, I'm kind of dressed down because I got my head in a lot of stuff that I'm working on. And we're going to have a lot of exciting news that we're going to be sharing this Saturday as well. So I hope you can join me for this 4-hour deep dive. And while we're there, I'll be answering a lot of questions. We're going to have an entire workbook for you. We're going to be sharing a lot of millionaire methods with you, and we will be talking about how you should prepare yourself and your business so that you can get loans and funding and investors and people to actually support your business. Like everything that I'm talking about, I've done it. I've bootstrapped my way to get to where I am. I've scrapped it out, and it was hard, but guess what? It was worth it, because now I have experience, I have success, and I have the proof that it can be done if you're willing to make the commitment, invest the time, the effort, and sometimes even the money and resources to get to your success, to get to your freedom. So this Saturday, I'll be sharing more of this with you. Go to Ramonepreston.com/event. And you can even call 404-478-7213. Please be sure to subscribe to my YouTube page. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Subscribe to my YouTube page. Just take a few moments and subscribe. And please leave me your biggest takeaway. What is the biggest takeaway that you got out of today's show? Maybe something stood out that you didn't think about. I would love to know. What was your biggest takeaway? Was there something that you heard, or were there certain steps that or ways that I talked about that you felt like, wow, I can actually do that and get some funding for my business? And I can help you with all of this. I have coaching programs, I have training programs to educate you and give you the support and the information you need to actually execute this on a high level. I do it every day for my clients and students. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you for joining the show. I'll see you tomorrow. Same place, same time, right here, 12 o'clock noon.